What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the 2024 Nissan Z Performance. This one's finished in the black diamond. MSRP is $55,300. Big shout out to Garber Nissan for providing the new Z for today's video. Take a look at their website, links down below. Underneath the hood of the 2024 Nissan Z Performance, you're going to find the 3-liter twin turbocharged V6 engine. This pumps out 400 horsepower with 350 pound-feet of torque, and it is a rear-wheel drive car with a limited slip rear differential. This one is equipped with a 6-speed manual transmission. Curb weight, you're looking at around 3,500 pounds. 0 to 60 is about 4.5 seconds, and then it runs on a 19-gallon fuel tank, so you're looking at 18 miles per gallon in the city with 24 out on the highway. 0 to 100 is close to 10.5 seconds, tops out at 155 miles per hour, and then quarter mile time is close to 13 seconds at 111. The overall length is 172.4 inches with wheelbase at 100.4. Width is 72.6 and height is 51.8 inches. You're also going to see the 4-piston Akebono brakes up front with a 14-inch rotor and 2-piston brakes in back with a 13.8-inch rotor. Moving on to the styling with Nissan's newest Z Performance. This is a pretty retro looking modern sports car, especially in this black. That paint color really pops in the sunlight. You got a nice set of LED headlights with daytime running lights, sharp lines surrounding them, and then you can see a nice squared off grille with some silver trim. We do have frontwards parking sensors along with a safety sensor right in the center, and then the lower chin spoiler is pretty sharp as well to give it an aggressive design. Has a pretty cool look overall, definitely a very squared off grille, which is a little interesting looking, and then a pretty sharp prominent body line throughout the center, cutting through the Nissan badge. It goes into the hood with a pretty cool design throughout the center. Very sleek and subtle lines overall. It's a pretty understated design overall, I think. You do have that really long front nose just to give it that proportional Z look. Really cool design. And then on the side, you're gonna see these nice 19-inch raised wheels. Finished in a gunmetal gray color, split 5-spoke. The red brake calipers contrast very nicely. You're gonna see a pretty aggressive side skirt and then super clean lines throughout the side profile. You got body colored mirror caps with a turn signal, grab handle, and back is all integrated into the bodywork, nice and flush. And then black trim surrounding the windows, and then the silver katana blade. Got your Z badge in back as well. Black roof with the shark fin antenna. And then for the overall side profile, you can just see how low slung this car is. Definitely looks like a Z car, like an old 280 or a 240. The rear fenders are nice and round, really giving it the curves it needs in back. And then in back, you're gonna see a cool set of LED taillights. You can also see just how they light up. Very retro design. You got your Z logo, backup camera, and the Nissan badge. And then a trunk mounted spoiler all integrated. So really cool looking rear end, definitely is where you can see all that retro come to life. And then you can see just some sharp body lines throughout it. You got a nice black diffuser with some fins, dual exhaust, and it comes together pretty cool with that retro vibe. Taking a look at the key fob, you're just gonna see lock, unlock, and panic, and we have the Nissan badge up above. Going ahead and locking it, you can just press the button, unlock the car, and take a look at this interior. This one has a pretty cool two-tone with the black as well as red. And then if we take a look at the door panel, finished in more of a soft touch material up above, and then you're gonna see the smooth red synthetic leather, and then this nice black micro suede throughout the insert and armrest. You have your grab handle, all of your controls up in front of that, release handle up above with an air vent, and then a nice Bose audio system. These seats have a combination of manual controls. You can rotate these dials to raise and lower the front and back of the base, and then the power controls for both front seats are located back here. You're gonna see the smooth red leather for the bolsters. You got a little bit of black leather in the center here, and then this nice perforated black micro suede. Bolsters on the back, finished in the red. Then you have the contrasting colors. Cool looking interior. It certainly looks like a 370Z, so nothing really all too new with the new Z. And then the steering wheel is nice with the black leather, 3-spoke design, and silver trim. And then now sitting inside the 2024 Nissan Z Performance, keep my foot on the clutch, you can fire it up. Taking a look at the gauge cluster screen, you got a massive tach right in the center. You can see your gear and speed above that, a few engine vitals on the far right side, and then on the left side you can scroll down and see tire pressure, boost gauge, as well as a G-force meter. If you tap this icon right here, we are able to change the view. You have a more normal one as well as the enhanced one, basically what you're used to seeing from Nissan. From here you can scroll up and down in all these menus, go left and right and see settings, safety information, as well as audio. Navigation will pop up here as well. A few more things about the car, and then back to your home screen. So nice design overall. I do like how you have a fun one and then the more basic ones as well. On the steering wheel, we do have that Nissan badge right in the center, a few Bluetooth and audio controls on that left side, and then cruise control on the right side. On the right stalk, you're going to see all the controls for the windshield wiper, and then turn signals on the left with your headlight control. And then at the left side, you're going to see your traction control icon, small air vent, just some plastic material on the dash, kind of a rubber soft touch. And then the gauges up in front, you're going to see a boost gauge. We have the turbo speed as well as a battery indicator. So nice to see those old school gauges in conjunction with the modern screen. You're going to see this red synthetic leather material coming across the lower dash as well as the whole center, matching really nice into the doors as well as the seats. This is probably my favorite interior spec. The screen in the center is kind of your basic Nissan. It's nothing really all too fancy. It'd be nice to have like a performance screen in here as well, but you do have more shortcuts down below, your full screen navigation, shortcuts in the actual car as well with audio controls, the map, camera settings you're able to take a look at. And then going into reverse, we have a nice backup camera with some guidelines. So nothing really all too fancy for the tech. There is a lot of carried over 370Z items in this vehicle. And then below that, of course, you can see your climate controls, which are right out of a 370. Easily can adjust fan speed, temperature, zones. You have some plugs down below as well as storage. And then your sport mode icon really just turns on and off a rev matching. You can see the S up in the top left corner. That will turn that on and off. Start stop icon, 6-speed manual with a nice size ball for the shifter, black shift boot. And then you're also able to take a look at heated seats, trunk button, one of your cup holders, as well as a manual parking brake. And then your armrest right here, you're actually able to open and close this for a center console storage, and you can even slide it backwards to reveal the secondary cup holder. One last look at the interior, definitely looks pretty cool, especially with the red and black. And then we do have a nice normal glove box on the far right side. Now behind these seats, there is a storage shelf. You can see a small glove box back here, same with behind the driver's seat, which makes it pretty practical. Up above, we have your dome lights you can easily adjust, small mirror with garage door buttons underneath that, and then a pretty good size sun visor. Moving on to the trunk space, there's a button right underneath the Nissan badge that will pop this. We can manually lift open this hatchback, and then you're going to see a pretty good amount of storage space in here, just like we saw on the 370Z. You can see it's kind of on the lower side, so taller items may not fit too well, but it is a very wide trunk for lots of storage. And then with the driver's seat slid forward, you do have to do this with the power control, so there's no manual way to quickly slide it forwards. However, you can get another good look at all the storage back here, and then a cool look at this plastic carbon trim on the lower portions of these doors. But for being a two-seater, this actually is a pretty practical sports car. All right, so setting off in the Z. Alright, so I have had a lot of these as press cars. We have a lot of seat time in the new Nissan Z, probably 5 or 6 performance models and 2 Nismos, so I've been in this car a lot. There's a lot of power. With 400 horsepower, I mean, this thing does move. My one drawback is when you're slowly accelerating, it does seem like when you first get to like 2,000 RPM, it'll feel slow, and then it'll kind of just really start pulling quickly. So it's a little hard to really drive this car perfectly smooth when you're not trying to floor it. Maybe I can demonstrate that a little bit accelerating. It just almost feels like, I don't know if it's turbo lag or just throttle lag, but it'll almost start to just floor it all of a sudden when I'm not really trying to floor it. So, going, like right there, it starts to pull. So I don't know, there's almost like a turbo lag in between each gears when you then accelerate. A little interesting, I've noticed that just with slow speed driving. As far as some normal driving, you do have a pretty good view around for being a 2-door, low-slung sports car. Really wide windshield. The rear window is low, but it's really wide as well. So not too bad to look around. Over your right shoulder, not the worst. Can't really see much over your left A lot of people say that the Supra is worse than this. This is a little bit taller on the windows, but over your left and right shoulder, honestly, they look about the same to me. So not bad for normal driving. This manual transmission is very forgiving. So it's something you can easily, maybe even learn on. It's just a little twitchy, like right there, it starts to accelerate when I'm barely giving it gas. So it could be a little more refined in the driving experience, I would say. But if you want just a simple, fun sports car, I mean, this is a cool way to go for sure. There's a lot of good storage solutions in it with just how they've done the 2 cup holders, the armrest, the storage cubbies behind the seats. So it's a pretty practical car. And if you like simplicity and the fact that this is a Nissan, this is a very simple car. Any Nissan dealer will work on it. It's all, honestly, a lot of shared parts between Nissan and Infiniti. So there's nothing really fancy about it. It's just an old school, powerful car that has some fun characteristics. The suspension is pretty soft and forgiving. It's a very GT style sports car, I would say. There's no drive modes that really do anything in this car, so this is how it is. I mean, the rev matching is the only real adjustment, but the suspension is nice and soft. It has more of a progressive design to where you don't really feel major bumps in it, and when you get harder into a turn, it does start to stiffen up and hold the car. So if you're doing a lot of switchbacks, you're gonna notice the body roll, but more sweeping turns in this car, you are gonna notice how it's a pretty planted vehicle, and given it does weigh, a little bit more than a Supra, about 200 pounds more, it does take away from that little bit of agility that you would get in that car, but it does help it feel pretty planted in the long sweepers. All right, so my honest thoughts with the Z. So, can't complain. It is a quick car. It's fun. It's got some power. Still wouldn't mind some extra refinements with the power delivery. Now, if you are new to the channel, you may not know my history with this car. If you are familiar with the channel, you probably know exactly what I'm going to say. So if you're new, I have a lot of history with the Z. I owned 2 of the 370s. I had a 2012 Sport Touring and a 2016 Nismo, which I loved. Years later, I bought a 2020 Mark V Toyota Supra. After 2 years of owning that car, I sold it to order the Nissan Z. It had just been unveiled, so I was going to buy a manual Nissan Z Performance. However, in the year-and-a-half wait for even the spot to get one of these cars, I had driven plenty of them as press cars, and then the manual Mark V Supra was unveiled, and at $4, $5, $6 grand more expensive, I could not say no. So I bought the manual Toyota Supra, which I currently own. So that's a 2023, and it was $59,000 when the 2023 Z Performance was $55,000. Honestly, the price difference, I couldn't justify saving a couple bucks and getting this when the Supra is a better car. It's a better performance car, smoother power delivery, more power, it's faster, handles better, it's lighter, way more refined interior. It's just a better car. However, now for 2024, I'm noticing these Supras have gone up a little bit in price. Mine was listed at 59 grand, and that's what I bought it for. It was like 61 out the door. This would have been like 57, 56 out the door. And if you're buying something in that price range, if 5 grand is too much to increase your budget, you probably shouldn't be buying that car in the first place because it's probably way too expensive anyways. But most people throughout the comments when I made that decision, which was almost 2 years ago at this point now, a lot of people were in the same boat, gonna buy the Z, and they went with the Supra instead. So unfortunately, Nissan over the last 2 years really has lost a lot of buyers on this car to the Supra because 5 grand more, it's very well worth it, and 90% of buyers can afford the extra 5 grand. So for 2024, I'm finding a lot of these manual Supras are now listed for 62 grand, and that's before taxes and everything. So now it almost looks like these Supras are closer to 65 grand out the door when you factor in taxes and things like that, because the MSRP is bumped up a little bit, dealers have some add-ons and things like that, and we're finding like the Zs now are having discounts. This one is marked down to 53. So now we're talking about a $10,000 difference for 2024. That's starting to make a difference, and I think now a lot of buyers, that's enough money to make you say, okay, do I want to spend $10,000 more now to get the Supra versus the Z? And when I made my original video buying the Supra instead of this one, I talked about the price, and I said at 5 grand difference, I can't see saving the money. It's not worth it. I'll spend more and get the Supra. But in that video, I said if it was 10 grand, it'd be a different story. So now if I take into consideration that this might be 10 grand less than a Supra, it feels like 10 grand less than a Supra. It definitely isn't as good, but For 10 grand, you can play a lot with the modifications and do some things to this. Being a very basic car with a simple suspension, there's nothing fancy about it. Throw on some nice coilovers, do an exhaust, do a tune, and now you got a 500 horsepower car that sounds really good. It's gonna handle a lot tighter with a much better suspension, and you're still gonna be way cheaper than a Supra. So we're starting to get to a point to where maybe the pricing is working out better. I would love to see Nissan in general lower the price points of these cars because they're just too expensive and they're just not selling. In about 2 years now, I've only seen 3 of these on the road. I see a ton of Supras. Even the first year the Supra was out, I saw a lot of them. So those are my honest thoughts with the pricing. Of course, I have a lot to say about this car. I've made a lot of videos with the Zs. It is a good overall car. I just wish they either did more to it to make it newer. It's really just a 370 with a nice engine and some screens, or just lower the price point of this significantly to make it seem like a better deal versus the competition, because you can get a GT Mustang with a premium package for less money than this. So it is a hard sell, I think, and we are seeing that Nissan's having a little bit of a challenge selling this car. My only real complaints, aside from all that, the seats, I'm not a fan of these standard seats. The bases are really short, like I mentioned. I just feel way too tall in them. They don't really cradle my legs. Like, all of this is not on the seat, just like the back side of my butt. So I'm just not sinking into this car like I would want to. For a sports car, you know, you want to sink into it. The Supra seats are really nice buckets, incredibly comfortable. They cradle your legs. The Nismo edition, amazing Recaro seats. Again, very expensive of a car, more like M2 money now. So Nissan has it. I think it's just the pricing they got to keep working on, or just give you more options, let you pick and choose different things in these cars. I am also not a fan of how there's only a base model, this one and the Nismo, and they're all basically 10 grand apart. You know, there used to be, you can add a touring package, a sport package, and mix and match a couple grand apart. So I think Nissan can do more with this, and hopefully they can capitalize more on it. They have the basics, they have the groundwork. I think there could be just some better things to it. But then again, if you are looking at these on the used market or discounted new ones, 10 grand difference versus, you know, new for new, used for used versus a Supra, I think we're starting to get somewhere to where it could be a pretty good buy. And it is overall a pretty fun car to drive. You will enjoy it. Good, well-rounded vehicle for sure. But anyways, those are my thoughts now that I'm seeing these on the discounted pricing. So my opinions are slowly changing if these are a little bit cheaper now. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Big shout out to Garber Nissan for providing this Z for today's video. Check out their website, linked down below. They have 2 of them, and from their website, they're like $1,700 off, so I think we're starting to get somewhere. Anyways, I will see you all in the next video.